He really knows how to move that stick. Wait a minute, not like that. I am the Wiz! Alright, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. This is your first time. If you like my review, please like and subscribe. I do 3 reviews a week on this channel, so if you enjoy, please subscribe. And today I'm going to be reviewing the 2023 biopic Maestro, written, directed, and starring Bradley Cooper and co-starring Carey Mulligan. Of the 2024 Best Picture nominees, Maestro was the one I was really least interested in watching, mainly because I had no interest in the person that it was about. But I will eventually see Poor Things and The Zone of Interest. Zone of Interest is actually next, if I recall. I really wasn't all that terribly interested, but I do want to at least watch all the Best Picture nominees, at least. What did I think of Maestro? Yeah, it's fine, I guess, but I have definite criticisms, but there's things to like about this film, too. So why don't we get into the review? And mainly, the thing about Maestro is it is pure Oscar bait. Honestly, the term Oscar bait used to be a good thing to me, because that would mean that there might be some quality that makes it interesting, that makes it thoughtful. Now it's a term of derision, because Oscar bait now just seems like it's going to a specific formula that it is just made to get Oscar contention. And Maestro is exactly that, for good and for bad. So let me go into the good. First off, the film is gorgeous. I think the way that the film is shot is stunning. The way that the black and white looks at the beginning, followed by the color, and the way that the film is shot in its specific color grading, I think was actually really stunning to watch in certain scenes. But I will definitely note, I think the black and white sections are the most attractive and beautiful looking in the film. I did like the color portions, but again, I just think the black and white, especially in the beginning where you're in that hall, where they have that sweeping shot of that area when Leonard Bernstein comes out, I think was incredibly good looking. I really enjoyed the look of the film. This film also has very good performances. Another standard thing when it comes to Oscar bait films. I think Bradley Cooper was pretty good as Leonard Bernstein. I'm going to be honest, I'm not very familiar with him, so I can't tell you whether or not he actually portrayed him faithfully, but I really liked Carey Mulligan in this film. I thought she actually carried the entire film throughout. Like, really, to be honest, I think her character is the one that you get to know the most of, because she's the one that goes through a lot when it comes to dealing with Leonard and his proclivities. I think that of the best performances of the film, I think it's Carey Mulligan who has the best one. Now, I told you the good things. Let's talk about the bad things, and I think this film, it shows exactly why Oscar bait films now are really considered annoying and not very good. Honestly, this film does not have that captivating a story. You would think that if this is about Leonard Bernstein, it would be about his music, how he created his music and stuff like that, but it's not. It really isn't. This is about how Leonard Bernstein can't keep his pants on and how he's bisexual. That's it. That's really all the film is about. And the film concentrates more on the relationship between Leonard and Felicia more than it talks about Leonard and his work, which could be interesting. But we don't get to learn much about Leonard or Felicia in that, other than Felicia first accepts his philandering and accepts who he is, then starts to grow tired of it, and then something else happens in the third act that I will not talk about, but you probably know if you know a little bit about Leonard Bernstein, I guess. It's not exactly an interesting story, and for a film that it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I would say it's a slog to get through, but the visuals are really what helped me get through the film in certain points. The other thing is that the characters aren't that interesting. I mean, again, you don't learn much about these characters. You learn that Leonard is a philanderer and he makes amazing music, and Felicia is his long-suffering wife and gets tired of his bullshit at times. That's it. That's really all you get to know. This is what makes this pure Oscar bait. You get these flashy performances. You get this gorgeous looking film to watch that doesn't say much, that doesn't really do much in the way of story. It doesn't excite. It doesn't challenge. It does what it does, and it does it beautifully and showy, but with no substance to it. And that's why a lot of people now have such derision to Oscar bait films, because that's exactly what they do. It looks pretty and it has a bunch of showy performances, but it says absolutely nothing. There's one other thing about this film that I was puzzled by, and I've read a little bit about it and I still don't get it. Why was most of this film in 4:3? The vast majority of the film is in a 4:3 aspect ratio. I guess the way to put it. It's like in a box almost. Now, the film is a gorgeous looking film, but then to scrunch the film up in 4:3, and the only reason I could really find about it was it wanted to evoke classical Hollywood films, but the film does not look like a classic Hollywood film. It looks like a modern film, and the film did not try to emulate the look and feel of a classic Hollywood film. It looks like a modern film of today. So why make it 4:3? There are films that play with aspect ratio to make a point. I just fail to see the point of making this 4:3. This could have been a standard aspect ratio for widescreen. Hell, it could have been an IMAX screen. I think it would have looked really good. But for some reason, Bradley Cooper decided to do it by 4:3, and I don't understand why. I think it did it to its detriment as well. Again, I will state that Maestro is just pure Oscar bait. It has some good things and has some bad things, but if you are like me and you're kind of tired of the standard Oscar baity films that have come out in the past 10 years that have a lot of flash, that look really good, has some really showy performances, but overall doesn't say a damn thing, I don't see why you'd actually enjoy this film either, unless you're really into Leonard Bernstein, but you already know about Leonard Bernstein, which is another problem that I have with this film. This film taught me nothing about Leonard Bernstein other than he likes to have sex with a lot of people. For what it is, I think it's fine, but I also think it's really not all that great. Alright, so before I get to my rating, let's go into what others think about this film. Letterboxd has this at a 3.1 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 78% fresh. And this was nominated last year for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, and I believe Best Screenplay as well. I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. This had a lot of the problems that I had with Rustin, the movie I reviewed about maybe a month and a half ago. And it's that it's going through a standard template of biopics. But there are things that this does better than Rustin, but I think Rustin overall is a better film, mainly because the character that it's based off of is not all that interesting. You name a film Maestro. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so it's going to be about his music. It's about how he creates his music. And it might be a little bit about his personal life. No, it's not. It's all about his personal life. And you learn nothing about how he creates music, why he is the way he is, and why his music is the way it is. And for someone like me, who didn't know much about his music, didn't know much about him, I came out of this film going, I still don't know much about him other than he likes to have a lot of sex. And honestly, that's a big problem when you walk into a biopic, walk out of it and going, I still don't know much about this guy. And I think that's a fault of the film itself. But like Oscar bait films, it looks really good. It's got 2 very good performances. I like Carey Mulligan in this film. So if you just want a very pretty film that has great performances, you can't go wrong with Maestro, but don't think there is much more depth in that bone. So 2.5 out of 5 for Maestro. It is on Netflix if you have not seen it. All right, guys, thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't, please subscribe. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment whether you liked it or not. It just helps, you know. If you want my written reviews, you can go onto my Letterboxd at IamThatWiz, or you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time.